maybe you're not being heard in his space and not being given a fair amount of time to speak. So if you don't enjoy the way that he curates his space, we'll continue to keep going.
Oh, I'm not the one challenging Steve. I support
okay.
I'm part of his mod squad. It's John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was challenged? Was it John? Was John the one challenged?
I'm just saying that.
I thought I heard one or two more. I mean, if it's okay with the mods, I'd love to hear what they have to say. But again, I don't want to derail your room and make it all about me.
I'm just saying, when I hear Steve Appel screaming,
if it's okay,
we're going to entertain this for about 2 more minutes, y'all.
You got it. No problem. You got it.
Instead of the fresh 5, it should be called the garbage 5. There's no 5 minutes of anything other than his stupid uncle views. So he has this sycophants like JCC here, who booty claps up and down, jumping. And now that's fine.
The booty clap.
Yeah, he really does.
I give you a hard time.
Everybody knows about Steve's rules. Everybody on Clubhouse knows Steve's rules. I mean, look, it's all good. But,
see, this is what happens when you're on Clubhouse too long, ladies and gentlemen. This otherwise sophisticated gentleman. I mean, like the booty clap, it got me. I know.
Steve's all right though. He can run his room how he likes, but it should be called Steve's 5 minutes, not your 5. It's not the fresh 5.
Exactly. You hear that, 5. Steve? That's some good constructive criticism for you.
I was just going to say that's some of the best constructive criticism I've ever heard, and I will remember it. Thank you very much.
See, look at us accomplishing things in good places.
Wait, what did he say? I missed it. My audio was messed up.
There are some people on this app that the moment that they get a green badge, they turn into a fucking asshole. And Steve is one of those people, right? Like, there are some people who just get this like ego trip whenever they're a mod in specific spaces where they generally are nice people, and then they just turn into assholes because they feel that they can't. JCC, get off my dick. Let me land my statement right. You generally turn into assholes for no fucking reason, and then the moment you see them again in other rooms, they're back to normal because they don't have a green mod badge. This has been a pattern that I've seen with Steve regularly on this app across multiple spaces, not even his house, even when he's moderating in other rooms. We have gone at it in the past, but I'm just bringing it up because someone else brought this up, but this is also something that I've observed myself.
Now, do you think this could be somehow connected to the Stanford prison experiment? Do you think that this power, no, I'm serious.
I really have to laugh at this conception of green bean power because, like, really, what do I have over? I have the same power here in this room with my green that I have in my home when I invite people over to entertain them. I'm allowed to have rules about going to engage in my presence. And I love it when I hear people on Clubhouse talk about how their rooms aren't echo chambers or, we're free speech advocates here because everybody curates their space to even Chillism, which is one of the quote unquote freer speech spaces on this app. They still have rules. There are still rules of engagement. Like there are still some things that they choose to curate. There is no free speech on Clubhouse. Not generally.
I'm sorry.
No, and the power of the green bean, like, it's just to say that, hey, this is my space. These are my people. I want to have the kind of conversation that I want to have. I don't like echo chambers. I oftentimes ask Monica, she'll get mad at me. I will green bean people that I know disagree with me and I know disagree with her because I don't want to give the perception of I'm trying to lean or propagate one way or the other. I'm just one of those people. I'm not afraid to hear people that think differently than me. It doesn't bother me at all. More often than not, it generally kind of confirms my position.
You got to understand,
but I've learned a thing or two.
People will not over.
In regards to replying to, I want to, not that I'm booty clapping for Steve, and I'm going to paraphrase because I think I've heard Steve say this before. Regardless of a green bean or not, Steve knows he's an asshole, accepts he's an asshole, and will behave the same regardless of having a green bean or not.
And I was just going to say regarding the power of the green bean, my concern, my feelings for both myself and everybody is I pride myself on my consistency. And if I am always an asshole, which I don't think I am, or I'm always a dictator, then when people come in, they know what to expect. What I don't like is when people act one way one day, act another way the next day. You know, the gentleman made a point, and I'll land it very clearly. When I don't have the green bean like here, you're damn right. I'm not going to take over their space. In fact, I asked permission a couple of times. I don't have a green bean. I don't deserve a green bean in this space, so I'm doing my best to comply by their rules. But when I have a green bean, I like to consider myself at the least consistent.
I know, but you got to listen to what.
And
But what did Mother just say though? You're ignoring what Mother just said. Are you not hearing what Mother just said, that the green bean impacts the way people behave? And Steve just confirmed it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all acknowledge that that's true. There are certainly where, based on the people in attendance of said rooms, I can say I absolutely feel better with a green bean, not because I feel like I have power over them, but maybe because I feel like at least like I can't be removed by them, that kind of thing. You know, like that's more the thing for me, is just having the protection of, okay, I'm amongst friends.
Well, I just put in the chat, it gives you 3 powers.
Kind of crazy.
It gives you censorship.
That, like JK, love you long time, that bitch, and Psycho.
Oh my goodness, and we're not, okay, no, we're not going to do that.
Can I land? So I noticed that, like, if I have a green bean, she won't fuck with me, but if I don't have a green bean, then she will. So I think that just having this little green thing underneath me, literally, like, people don't fuck with me.
Correct.
You know what I thought when Anne was just talking? And do you remember the old snowman, Frosty the Snowman? When he starts in, he goes, messy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, and I feel like that comment was very random, Bima.
Oh,
maybe that's why I love you.
Yo, Evie, you're not going to honor your bet. What's up, Evie? You're not going to honor it. Come on.
Oh, it's TDS10. How are you doing, TDS10?
You owe me money.
Evie,
you owe me money.
Evie, you're not going to honor your bet.
You owe me money.
There's still not a piece on money. That was a bet, dude. That was a bet.
No, it's a full truth.
From last week Tuesday, big man. Last week Tuesday.
TDS10, Donald Trump's about to deploy the National Guard to Chicago.
And 10.
He's a Jamaican scammer. He's trying to scam me out of 100.
Evie, you're really going to not going to honor your bet.
Oh my gosh.
Ask everybody, is there a ceasefire in Ukraine right now?
10.
No, answer the question. Is there a ceasefire in
Wait a minute.
Answer the question. Is there a ceasefire in Ukraine right now?
No, there's.
Exactly. So, Evie, are you not going to honor your bet? Yes or no?
You owe me
No,
100.
conversation over.
Yeah, I know it's over. But Evie, come check me. Give my money back.
We'll figure it out in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
Oh, I remember that comment I wanted to say. Listen, so another cool thing about tipping in the modern day is, remember, folks, okay? Like, we have Cash App and Venmo, and you don't have to put your real name on that type of stuff, right? Like, in the back channel, you have to put your real information. But the surface of what, like, the receiver will get is just like a pseudonym, right? So anyway, long story longer, because you know how I do. Like when you go to like baby showers or like a catered place or something like that, where like the tipping might not be, give me your Cash App and send me a request for whatever. I'll just leave a note on the table in the case. So don't let that be an excuse to not tip people. If you don't have it right then, you could be like, yeah, send it to me. And they've done it, and I love it. It's a great, thank you.
And speaking of tipping in restaurants, before I go, I just heard this morning, and maybe I'm a little late to the party. Did any of y'all hear about Cracker Barrel?
Oh
Can
yeah,
you their logo?
we had that conversation.
Okay. I just found out about it this morning.
Oh, did you? Yeah. They took the Cracker in the Barrel out of the picture, y'all.
But they didn't change the name.
Let's go March on Washington.
They also issued a retraction today saying, we are so sorry, but we're not changing a thing, and we're going to keep doing Pride Month. They put that out there. They are the dumbest people in the world. They're called Democrats, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Just because we kind of have a mixed bag audience, I'm curious. Everything's about the executive order yesterday about the flags. Are people's feathers really ruffled about this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trump's an executive order.
So I have mixed views on this one. Like, I think, to be honest, like it's not cool to burn the American flag. But
Oh, you're talking about burning the American flag.
I know you can fucking hear me, Steve. I know you can fucking hear me, right? So it's not cool to burn the American flag. But I also was gonna say that I think we have an issue with like here's the thing, right? Like, I prefer limited government. I don't think government should be involved in the as least as possible in the everyday life of the average human being. And what we are seeing with the Trump administration and with Republicans in general is the acceptance of large government and the intrusion of government more to more on people's way of speech, people's way of acting, because it's conveniently aligned to what they want. And Republicans traditionally have not been like this. So it is kind of like this executive order is going to get struck down because the Supreme Court already ruled against it, right? But it's just a fucking distraction, and it actually goes
how
along
do you get charged with a hate crime if you burn the LGBTQ flag?
Like, basically not being able to express yourself if it doesn't align with a certain political party, and that is problematic. I'm done.
Okay, Poppy, I hear the point that you just made, but like, this is just a couple things that I would like to comment on. I can see in the bigger picture the point that you made. If I take a lot of the other stuff out of the equation and I look specifically at the executive order on yesterday, it is not going to get struck down because Trump didn't change any law by virtue of that executive order. All he did was encourage attorney generals to apply the laws that are in effect in each state when the burning of the flag precipitates violence. And so he didn't create any law by virtue of that executive order. All he essentially did was, I think, kind of enunciate and pronounce that he thinks that attorney generals should do a better job about actually enforcing laws that they already have on their state books. So with respect to that, I don't feel like it was an overreach. I feel like it was a media blitz to just bring awareness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Oh, Mother, now I know you can hear me. Thank you.
Wait, go ahead, Mike. Hold on. Mike tried to jump in when I did.
You're the one who cut me off. I didn't cut you off. That was why I made that comment, all right? Don't be passive-aggressive.
Oh, I'm not passive-aggressive.
I think it's largely irrelevant to agree with you, Serendipity. It is kind of a distraction. It's also a further example of Trump trying to kind of push his will with executive powers to show that he's the ultimate authority in many ways that haven't been done in the past. To make a statement, and to assert the executive branch power a little more so, which he continues to try to do in all kinds of different ways. But that said, as a U.S. Marine, I can tell you that I'm bothered a lot by a concept of outlawing burning flags. I think it's the quintessential freedom of speech method that is the biggest example of that line where we will go too far if we don't allow it. In the 90s in the Marine Corps, when I was on active duty, it was actually brought up that there was some laws put in effect or they were trying to put some laws in effect about it. And it was a big deal in the mid-90s where we were talking about it as an issue. And I remember a lot of Marines saying, fuck yeah, it needs to be outlawed. And then I remember the Marines that I respected more, the ones that actually, believed in the Constitution, the ones that were really kind of straight-laced. Almost all of them would say, no, like if someone burned one in front of me, I'd kick his ass. But as far as law goes, we should not make it illegal. I think that is, it scares me a lot because it really reminds me of authoritarian states overseas that would not allow their citizens to do that as well. So, in theory, again, I think that it's an example of Trump kind of pushing his will and making the wrong decision, even though it's not ultimately that big of a deal or impactful at this moment. That's what I have to say about it.
You have to look at this in terms of communication capability on platforms. Censorship on this platform is real. Censorship on YouTube is real. Meta is real. I can burn the American flag on YouTube. I can burn the Bible on YouTube, but I cannot burn the Quran and I cannot burn the LGBTQ flag. That would be hate speech, and I could get arrested for that. So make it make sense, please.
No, I agree with you, John. I mean, I think those are all very valid points. I guess, Mike, one question I would ask you, because, on the American issue, like, I think I pretty much agree with you about it. I don't like it. I don't want to see it. But from the standpoint of the premise of our country being free and us having the ability to protest, the laws that are in effect in the various different states regarding the desecration of the flag are specifically tied to the flag being burned while utilizing violent protests, throwing rocks at windows and stuff. Is your position the same, that even in those situations, you don't think that there should be any legal recourse in the burning of the flag?
Yeah. And again, I think those are two separate things. I mean, I think they should, obviously the laws that exist for vandalism or whatnot, and hate speech. I'm borderline on hate speech laws. I'm not sure I completely love those either, but I see a little more of a reason to have those than the flag banning laws. So yes, I agree. I think that it should not be an increased sentence or a factor when it comes to prosecuting people who are breaking other laws. I really see it as a quintessential free speech issue that I think represents what free speech is intended for more than any other activity that I can think of in the United States.
And I kind of want to pivot just a tad, but I was thinking about, how everyone, all their criticisms of Trump, and, when we think about it, if Trump ends up bringing some world peace, who gives a shit what his intentions are? I always hear that Trump's a narcissist and all these things, and that may be true. However, if we're all making more money, if we all have stable jobs and income, if our families are thriving and there's less violence, and I mean, I feel like who cares what his intentions are? If he wants, just something on his bucket list to show that he's the best, who cares?
And it's about intelligence. We want the smartest decisions. We want the best answers. We don't want bullshit. We want the truth and we want transparency. And, this is, again, an issue about censorship and about the platforms, about Clubhouse, YouTube, Meta. The market cap of Meta and Apple, we're talking about the biggest corporations on the planet that are limiting Americans' ability to communicate freely, openly, and transparently. Again, I will repeat for you. I could go to jail today if I burn the Quran or the LGBTQ flag and put that up on YouTube. But if I burn the Bible or the American flag, it will get promoted by these platforms and it will get likes. So the algorithm and the big tech companies and the executives that are pushing anti-American deranged algorithms, those are the enemy of we the people. Get your facts straight.
I want to make one thing clear. I'm not opposed to platforms doing anything about a flag burning. If YouTube wants to delete videos because someone's burning a flag, I'm completely in support of YouTube having the right to do that. The government having a law in place against the action is where my problem lies.
Yeah, but necessarily sometimes
Mike, did you not hear what I said?
They need laws when they literally have their hand in every single business or platform that we use every day.
That's a whole other issue. They need to get their hands off the platform.
Google won't do that.
Government's intervention in business is a big problem.
And I think John's point, though, we do stand mighty and proud on our individual liberties in this country. But I think that one of the points that John's made is spot on as far as, being able to burn the Bible, being able to burn the American flag. Like, we take pride in the fact that we're free enough to do that. And yet, there is a lot of censorship on burning the Quran or burning a gay pride flag or burning, I don't know. There is almost like a double standard there.
Well, as long as the government isn't the one making those decisions, then it doesn't bother. It doesn't affect the Constitution. Private businesses and public businesses, for that matter, are not obligated to abide by the Constitution. I don't think. I mean, but the government should never be telling us we can't burn a Bible or a flag. I mean, that like I said, those are the biggest example of freedom of speech that I can possibly imagine. I can't imagine anything else. You use your mouth. Use your actions, but it doesn't. But and they also don't affect human beings. You're not infringing on anyone else's rights by doing either one of those things. So it's just not. I just think it's completely unacceptable for the government to get involved in that.
I agree.
No, I agree, but I think we as consumers too, we put a stamp on things by continuing to use platforms that allow the double standard. So to some extent, there's we kind of get to choose by choosing which platforms we're going to use. I wonder, are there any laws specifically related to publicly protesting and burning Qurans and burning gay pride flags? Would there be any legal ramifications to doing something like that publicly?
100%.
In Michigan, we did. Gretchen Whitmer did pass this anti-hate bill for LGBTQ. So, when there was people protesting in the streets against LGBTQ, people were getting arrested and things like that. So, I don't know if is that considered? Because essentially, is that
right?
Yeah.
There's a double standard in that. Do you not think so? Where's the outrage over our freedom of speech?
This is a political freedom issue. There's 100 political issues. Burning the flag is a political issue. Burning the Quran is a political issue.
Yeah, because they were
I don't know if I believe that. The way we're framing this is honest.
Can you hear me? They got arrested disrupting the peace. Is what they got arrested.
Are you not following what's going on in the UK, where they're making 80 arrests a day off of what people post on Facebook? That is real lockdown. America could go that way, but the problem is there's this double standard. You know it, and I know it. I wish Steve was here, because if you are an atheist and you want to upset Christians to get them to wake up that they're living in some type of delusion, or if you want to wake up Jews, or you want to wake up Muslims, or you want to wake up Buddhists or Hindus, and you want to do it provocatively on the internet, you shouldn't have to go to jail or face any legal repercussions if you want to create an artistic video about burning the Bible, or burning the Quran, or burning the Bhagavad Gita, or burning the Dhammapada. These are all books. I know a lot of you just like to come here and talk nonstop, incessantly, year after year, and never read a book, but that's your life. I'm just saying, in the book club, we read books.
Candidate Kitover is a book candidate.
You can go to John Kitover on Instagram and view some of my books. These are called books. They're external hard drives. Maybe some of you have read them on this app. You don't just talk all the time for years and years and years. You read what's called a book on here.
Yeah, it's awfully effective to lump a lot of people together in a particular room and say that they don't read, and even if you're on Clubhouse. Interesting accusation.
If candidate Kitover is elected, he will make it illegal to lump people together into groups. He will make your identity ungroupable, and he has pledged to cure AIDS within the first 6 months of his tenure. Vote candidate Kitover for Congress.
Hey, Scott, how are you doing?
Did anybody here get AIDS?
The great one. the great candidate Kitover.
Does anybody here have AIDS from getting the COVID-19 vaccine?
Candidate Kitover can do more push-ups than RFK.
Well, moderators, all I would say is I hate for interrupting a room. I apologize if I've been rude or caustic like acid. All I'm trying to say is I'd like to read a poem when you beautiful ladies and gentlemen, have the room ready for just a quick little poem. It's called it's called My Beautiful Clubhouse Friends. That's the name of it. Well, my question is, why would you say no to a poem?
I'm the only one who wants to hear the poem, but I'll leave it in Serendipity's hands.
I do want to know, though, did you write it or did you have ChatGPT?
No, I wrote this myself while I was working on my campaign on my computer.
How long is it?
It's not long. It's not long. This is how bad your ADHD is and your dopamine feedback. That'll be the name of my next poem. Okay, this is called My Beautiful Clubhouse Friends. I may be clapping my hands, but I don't belong to a crowd of clappers. I'm neither this nor that. I'm not part of a group that loves flute music, or one that loves gambling, or one that loves drinking wine. Those who live in time, descended from Adam, made of earth and water, I'm not part of that. Don't listen to what I say, as though these words came from an inside and went to an outside. Your faces are very beautiful, but they are wooden cages. You'd better run from me. My words are fire. I have nothing to do with being famous, or making grand judgments, or feeling full of shame. I borrow nothing. I don't want anything from anybody. I flow through all human beings. Love is my only companion. When union happens, my speech goes inward, towards shams. At that meeting, all the secrets of language will no longer be secret in Clown House.
Thank you, John. I actually appreciate those words. I really enjoyed that poem. I'm probably in the minority on the John fandom, but I enjoyed that while sipping on my coffee. Thank you for the energy you bring to these.
What were you holding in your hand?
All fans of John must unite. We must unite and get candidate Kitover elected for Congress.
John, what were you holding in your hand when you read that?
John, I take issue with the fact that you called us friends. I don't believe that.
And what were you holding in your hand when you read that?
Well, it's funny that you ask that question because I know you probably haven't picked one up in quite a long time. It's called a book. But I say friends for life.
I don't think it's fair for you to call us friends. You don't think we're your friends.
Friendlies.
Wait, I see that Donald down there was off mic. Donald?
Then the contestants on Temptation Island, but not Kitover. Okay, let me tell you what. He's going to stop the climate change, the global warming. You know when the warming's happening, it's the illegals come. And when they eat the dogs and the cats, they barbecue them, okay? And the smoke goes up. It creates the global warming. Kitover is going to cool things down. He's fantastic, okay? He will make it illegal, not just to burn the flag, but to, burn those red, white, and blue bikinis they wear in NASCAR, okay? Oh, we love NASCAR, okay? We love NASCAR. You love NASCAR. I love it. We all love it, okay? He's fantastic. Vote for candidate Kitover today.
Scott, why is it that you think people are so resistant to change? People like Matt Cool down there, or Rohan, or Alan, or Poochie, or even Don Julio. What is it about change that causes so much anger and stress for people?
I think my good friend Alan is very change positive. He's a very change positive guy. He's got a very dynamic room where he welcomes you in there, candidate Kitover. Roland is a good buddy. I think a lot of these people are adaptive people, but I think most people aren't. I think you're right. Most people have a tough time with change. Nature of the human condition. We are set in our ways. Our thinking becomes rigid. It's more natural to not be adaptive. I think. Just because it's the nature of the human condition. Don't hate people that don't love change. They're just being human. We become quickly acclimated. Our brain does not like dissonance. It's very disorienting. And so we sort of cling to the familiar to avoid dissonance.
I have a comment on that too. I think a lot of people are change averse because they think to change their mind means that they're somehow admitting they were wrong.
Hold on, I don't mean to call anybody out. Mad cool, because I thought we were cool. Do you have a new account? I thought I was following.
Oh, he did? I heard he got clipped.
What? No,
yeah.
Cool. Damn.
I mean, Mad Cool, he can be a messy bitch.
Oh, shit. Well, Matt, I'm going to add you anyway, because I don't have any beef with you. I mean, as far as I know, but shit be trickling down my timeline and back DMs about people talking shit, so until I hear otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and add you back. If you got to block me, because I know I've been blocked from a lot of people that I've blocked, I get it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and add you. I'm talking about my ladies in the muff.
This is why I record, because I have the past 2 weeks on YouTube on 13 different accounts, and there are good reasons why people got clipped. But to tell you the truth, maybe I'm a hypocrite, but I don't know why I got clipped. But I'm just saying, it's all on YouTube. You can watch the drama. No one's going to go back and watch it. But I will say, to me, it's pretty interesting and pretty funny. And Pepe has a new account. He goes by a new name, some kind of stupid French name. And he's deepening his voice and going into black spaces again. And everybody knows it's Pepe right away. Immediately, people say, that's that racist Pepe.
Okay, so Donald keeps coming off mic but saying nothing. Donald, do you have something to say? You keep coming off mic while people are speaking, but you're not speaking.
No, it's not.
You're trying to speak, we can't hear you.
It's not against terms of service, Monica. I read the terms of service. I'd be happy to read them here live on Clown House for you, because I know most of you don't actually read anything.
Okay, we're not going to have that conversation today, John. Donald, did he leave? Sometimes he can hear us, but we can't hear him. He's got to leave and come back. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm not sure.
No, it was me. I moved him to the audience because,
Well, Donald, if you can hear us, sometimes that's a glitch. And if you close the app and then come back, it will resolve itself sometimes. And welcome to the stage, Will and Poochie and Alan and Donald again.
Today I'm not.
What's up, sis?
Today I'm not Alan. I'm the 37th president of the United States. And I just want to say to my friend, Janet, that tapes can get you in serious trouble. So you ought to be careful about who you record. Thank you.
Well, you know what you ought to be careful of, Alan? Don't burn the American flag or the Bible or the Quran, and don't burn the Bhagavad Gita or the Dhammapada. Don't do anything controversial or say anything controversial, because recording free speech is the same thing as saying the words myself. So, Alan, if there's something that you don't like that I've recorded, that you've said, maybe it's a you problem and not a me problem. And I know, now that you're Nixon and all, I'm sure you've got some great solutions for America, Alan.
I think there are many solutions for America. And I'll have to pass on what you said. I only know that we need to take America seriously. And as the 37th president, I can only say that every seventh president, as in the 17th, the 27th, 37th, and the 47th, we were Republicans. And I think the rational discussion forum is wonderful because, in all seriousness, rational starts with R, Republican starts with R, right starts with R. If it's Republican, it's right, and that's the 11th commandment. Thank you.
Well,
Are you retarded?
well, Democrat starts with D, so
Alan,
that
I just
must
wanna say
mean
everything
doom,
you just said was-
destruction, demise, deleterious,
Well done, sir.
dangerous,
Well done.
delusional. You know, D with delusional and Democrat, they're very similar.
I find it so amusing that so many people allow their politics to become their identity.
Yeah, but see, Alan was doing us all a favor there because he was being performative and he took on a character. And I would suggest that people on this app sometime be creative, create an alt account, do a character, do a different voice, see what it's like to be an actor or an actress. Because your problem is you think you're not an actor or an actress, but the truth is your identity with your red hat or your dog or your big Harry Carey glasses or your purple lipstick and blue hair, that's all performative.
Wait, are you talking about my glasses?
He's totally talking about your glasses, man.
Well, look at my glasses. I'm wearing glasses. Scott's wearing glasses. It's an aesthetic. So what I'm saying is we all manipulate the way we are perceived with our aesthetic or our communication. There's 100,000 forms of communication. I'm just saying the way you PTR or the way you frame yourself is the way you project.
And if candidate Congressman Kitover is elected, he will make all forms of communication tax deductible. All your text messages, all your interactions at Clubhouse will be resulting in tax credits. Support candidate Kitover.
See, the irony of that is the more spam you probably consume, the worse your financial situation. And so you're probably not even paying taxes anyways.
You know what's interesting about that philosophy is that's perspective, is thinking that if somebody's profile is them being performative. Some people are not, because they know when they're on stage and they know when they're off stage. Some people, they don't know. They think it's all performative. So it's rather about perception, isn't it? I can portray myself as such a person, whatever it is, and no matter what I do, people will perceive me as this or that or the other. So I can try to do it and be sincere, and I'll still be considered an actor.
Well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You know, they curse you if you say something. They curse you if you say nothing. They curse you if you remain silent. That's the nature of communication. And running for Congress, I can tell you, I have been attacked more times than I've been praised 100,000-fold. It's wild how dragons magically appear and start breathing fire on you, and then they disappear if you're willing to crawl into the cave with a sword, kill the dragon, and emerge with the power of the dragon.
Yeah, I don't care to kill the actors. I just know that I can identify them. I can the sincere ones as well. And I think that there's a need in this world for all of them. We all have voices. We all have perspectives. We all have things to give.
Well, so Alan Watts says there's this feeling of being here before. So there's this game that played out real time on this app, and it's a fun game to be a part of. But I would just say not a lot of people are doing creative things on this app, but people are complaining about the news every single day as if that's real intelligence. You know, Anne was like, I don't care what the fuck Trump does as long as we're making money and the economy grows. Well, that's like what a stupid person says who's lazy and says, well, I don't care about anything or the status quo is fine, or just even do more extreme things as long as the economy is growing and as long as I'm making money and we're safe. What do I care what Trump does? That type of attitude. I mean, see, but I think people have TDS, that they think Trump is doing all these things. He's one guy in a suit sitting in an office saying, do this, do that, draft this, say that. You know, he's one brain, one man pointing fingers, saying things. He can only do so much. So I think people on this app do a lot of projection onto Trump in the same way that people might project onto the evergreen Pepe and say Trump is a racist, Trump is a supremacist, he's evil, he's a pedo. Everything you've heard, the worst things you could possibly say about Trump, you've heard it in Alan's room, you've heard it in this room, you've heard it in every room. And all I would suggest is a lot of that is projection.
Congress to action. I think it's important that we consider the weight of a man. Now, the 27th president, he was Taft. He was a big man, about 320 pounds. I was a small man. I have to say, I was a small man. I was only 160 pounds. Now, Donald Trump, I've read and studied, and I think he's approximately 320 pounds. So he's twice the man I am. Thank you.
I just love it that Scott is up here. Makes me very happy. He's contributing.
Well, I'm like shocked to hear Scott's economic opinion, because when I hear Scott has a rant. I call it like the Scott Kent Jones rant, where it's about neoliberalists and the new political orders. And this guy says there's these three political orders, and we're currently in the beginning phases of this political. Like, Scott has his shtick, okay? But I would just suggest that that is Scott's hypnosis, and it's actually meaningless, has no power, accuracy, or any substance or weight whatsoever. So I challenge Scott. You tell us, Scott, if you were the president, what would your three priorities be for we the people? Go ahead, Scott. Tell everybody your three priorities for we the people. Those are the three biggest things, Scott. Go ahead.
John, if I had three priorities for the American people, it'd be 1, 2, 3. Number one would be elect. Number 2, candidate. Number 3, Kitover. Thank you.
No, I'm telling you, Scott, really meditate on this question, because I've thought about it, you know, sitting there meditating. If I was the leader of the people, what would I do for we the people? Think about that. I encourage everybody here to think about that, because you know what the answer is? Whatever issue you need to resolve in your life is what you will project upon the people and say, that's what I want for them too. Go ahead and do that thought experiment right now.
Yeah, no, I actually disagree with you wholeheartedly. But thank you.
John, let me give you some advice. I've been in this game a long time. I ran my first race in 1946. Simple solutions for simple-minded people. That's the answer. Thank you.
No, my thought experiment holds up. It's the golden rule. What I want for my neighbor, I want for myself. You know, do unto your neighbor as you want done unto yourself. So there's nothing new under the sun. Everything is as it always has been. However, ask, wait, is Hakima here? Yeah, I'm sorry. Ask yourself, what if, see, it's the whole thing is what I want for myself is what you want for the people. And so, you know, on my situation, I did this thought experiment. I would encourage anyone here to do this simple thought projection, because what you want for yourself is what you want for your people, and what your people want is what you want for yourself. You see how that works? It's a full projection upon we the people. And the truth is, We the people is basically pointing towards about 30 billionaires, which are gaming the system. And I'm not talking about just billionaires. I'm talking about people with 50 billion, 100 billion, 150 billion, the top, the top 30 in terms of number. They're very active and vocal because they have the money to do the most projection back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, but I disagree with you wholeheartedly. There's a lot of things that I would like for myself, but it's not going to work for my neighbors. And there's a lot of stuff that would work for my neighbors. It's not going to work for me.
I know. Well, give us the actual. See, you're not answering.
Let her finish.
Because if you live in a community where you're only thinking of yourself, then you're not living in a community. And you're not considering other people.
No, you're not.
There's not a whole lot of people that I've learned and that I've actually
Kristen, repeat back the question. If you were the president, what would your priorities be? You're not answering the question.
Are you talking over her, John? Stay on mute until you're done.
Thanks. So I was very cynical about 20 years ago, and I have since learned, people have taught me they're a lot kinder than I gave them credit for. They're a lot smarter than I gave them credit for. And more trustworthy than I give them credit for. And I've learned that. Yeah, there are some people that I've been fooled. Total con artists that have no conscience. Yeah. Those are few and far between. And luckily, a lot of rules in place that protect me and protect my neighbors from those kinds of people. And it's nice to be able to, when it has been demonstrated, to be able to trust that as well. Thanks.
Hey, Jane.
I'm merely trying to make a point.
Hey, John. I put an answer to your good question in the chat. I would love your thoughts on it. And hi, everyone.
Good morning, Agent and Jane.
Hi.
Yeah, Jane, that's a great answer, and that's one part of the solution, but it's a much bigger problem than that. Yeah, of course I agree with that. Every American agrees with that.
Do you think so, John?
Yeah, I've worked for 20. I've worked in corporate America. I know what everything is like you.
Doesn't abide by that. Corporate America doesn't ensure that everyone.
No, listen, this is you've worked in organizations. There's politics in the organization. It's all about power and relativity and money but the biggest problem is government and the taxation system.
Theft, John, wage theft.
Yeah, welcome to the IRS, theft. Jane. That's what wage theft is. Your employer is giving you a unique opportunity to live, to breathe, to eat, to poop, to shower, to live. You're getting income. Income.
And you should give that income to the campaign of candidate Congressman Kitover.
And I could say, there's something about John that I really respect. And something that Donald Trump does. Thinks only of himself. And do it unto others as you can do unto yourself. Steal from the people. That's what the presidency is for. As I told David Frost, if the president does it, it's right. And I'm sorry, but I have to leave. But thank you for your time.
So I want to ask Kristen a follow-up question. I heard what you said. I listened closely, Kristen. But let me ask you the question again. Kristen, if you were the first female president of the United States of America.
What she said, John?
No, I'm moving past that. I'm asking a new question now. That's old news in the older room. Kristen, if you were the president and the first female president of America, Kristen, what would you do for we the people?
I think that's kind of a trick question, isn't it? They've asked that every kind of debate. I mean, it really is kind of, that's like, what do you want me to answer?
I want you to answer what your intuition tells you to answer.
My intuition or my reason?
Your intuition or your reason. Just an answer, Kristen. Anything will do.
Well, good, because the great thing is that I'm not running for president. I don't think I'd be capable. Secondly, my intuition is more of an intimate thing that I don't share with everybody. But thank you for asking.
Got it. Okay, so you're a no.
No, for what?
No for not being able to answer a simple question. Duh. Some people just can't answer a fucking question.
They should give you a simple answer.
I mean, yeah, she did answer. She didn't not answer. She just didn't elaborate.
Yeah, that was an answer.
It was a non-answer.
It was
Darn it. The female president left. I wanted to do a competency test.
So, Jane, let me ask you about what you wrote. Regulate large companies so they're able to pay living wages and be profitable, of course, because nobody should have to run a business unless they're profitable. Not hard. Yeah, not hard. And subsidize small businesses through taxation so they can pay a living wage and not go bankrupt. Wow, Jane, that makes perfect economic sense. That's a real mathematical equation. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold up in the real world. Oh, look, Ben is here. Hi, Ben. Listen, Ben, look at rule number 9. We can't talk about old rooms and old drama. I don't want to bring up the Bunny Ranch experience and outside of Vegas.
Let's not do it, John. Okay, John. Let's, take it down a notch or two. Let's give some other people an opportunity to interject. If so, and you ask me what I would do if I were ever to become president, I'll answer your question for you. Hey, KP, again.
Hey, yo, I had to get my oil changed. Got stuck behind a whole fleet of trucks and it sucked.
Oh, I'm sorry. Agent Malone, I have not seen you in a hot minute.
If you go into chillism, if that's where you spend most of your time, it's because the IQ level is too low for me there.
I do not go into chillism. I mean, I occasionally, if there's nothing else going on, I'll go in there and fall asleep, but I don't spend a lot of my time in chillism. I'm afraid of that stage.
Usually I don't go in rooms, or actually it's hard to avoid now, but rooms with Edmonds, now known as John Kitover. He seems to have cast a spell on about half the people who are, let's say, 110 IQ and below. It's really people are shilling for him, promoting him, that really should know better. I don't understand it. The guy is actually evil in many ways. I mean that very sincerely.
I'm going to have to respond, Serendipity. You can't come on stage and call me evil, Agent. That could be a projection, Agent.
Cry for America.
I think the philosophy for a lot of people has been that since Clubhouse came out with their anon feature, which prevents stopping anybody from recording or streaming rooms or rooms that, and by virtue of adjusting their terms of service, since we can share to all the different various platforms now, I think that people have just taken the approach that it's become a fruitless effort, and I implore you.
But people just flip the script and they're like, oh, not only will we stop condemning this evil person, but we're going to now promote him and celebrate him and elevate him as much as we can.
Okay, you're projecting, Agent.
I mean,
how
Jesus
dare you?
How
dare you, Agent? You're no gentleman coming up here saying I'm evil 2 times in a row, Agent. I'll have to defend myself if you're going to say such slanderous, liable defamation.
Hold on, John. You'll get a chance to respond. Let Agent land, and you can respond, John.
We shouldn't. Jesus didn't mean to make the least of us, as far as moral character, to run, to run our rooms or be the focus of everything we do. I don't think that's what Jesus intended. Respectfully.
Well, respectfully,
I don't think Jesus knew what running a room would mean. I don't think Jesus had any idea what Clubhouse was going to be
Of
like.
course he would know what he would. Listen, Mike, you couldn't be further from the truth. I hate to break the news to you, but I got a picture of the Last Supper in my kitchen. You know what that Last Supper looks like? It looks like Clown House.
Oh my goodness.
You have the power to kick him right now off the stage. Just saying.
I do. This is not my house, though, and the house owner has made the decision to allow John to participate in the room. So I'm just simply trying to respect the house owner's
Listen,
wishes.
I'm going to do Agent a favor.
I actually have a private house that, like, when I have conversations that I don't want to have to worry about being streamed or recorded or otherwise information used against me, that's where I retreat.
I mean, to be fair, John's not breaking any rules. You know, because we don't like him. We can't kick off people we don't like. That's bullshit.
Yeah, Agent, and you've come in here and slandered, defamed me, and labeled me twice now by calling me evil. Sir, I would suggest that you go look in the mirror and reflect, because when you project like that, I'm going to sit here and defend myself until the day's over. So take your bullshit, Agent, and shove it up your ass.
There are actually other good friends of the owner of this house that actually really don't like the presence of Kitover here. But again, I'm filling in while he is absent, and I'm just trying to respect.
But thanks for welcoming me to the stage. I appreciate your serendipity.
It's good to see you. I have missed you. I haven't seen you in a long time, and it is good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will remind you, his name is Agent Malone. He calls himself a double agent. His name is Agent Malone.
We like Agent, not too much on Agent.
I just want to point out that you don't build echo chamber serendipity. Look at this. There's 3 mods, and we all have a different answer for the question.
Right? This is true.
See, Agent is doing what I suggested earlier is the problem, which is censorship. Preventing people like me causes a bigger problem for you. And so I am a microcosm of the macrocosm problem, which is through the NDAA, the NSA, the Utah facility. All this money we're spending as taxpayers to surveil ourselves is a waste of money. Apps like this hold people accountable in the court of social justice, and on platforms like Google and Meta, the only justice you're going to get.
Do they really? Do apps like this really hold people accountable? I think not, Mr. Kitover.
It's public. You're speaking publicly, and whether I'm in it recording or not, if I go in with an anonymous, you're still being held in the court of social justice. So I would suggest that please, you're censoring me now with your
popularity contests and cliquish behavior. That's what apps like this do.
Okay, well, you got the power. You got the green bean.
You can hold big rooms and you can draw large crowds. And while they're sitting in that room, they're all going to be, tickling your balls and agreeing with you. And then they're going to go into the next person's room and they're going to be, ooh la la all over them as well. There's no.
Well, you flatter a lot of people, and you stir the pot.
You have pervasive women. You have pervasive women that get up on stage and kiki it up, and they use their soft, little, sweet, soft-spoken voices, and they include enough reasonableness with their, hearsay, quote-unquote, receipts and slander. They take their little passive-aggressive digs, but they wrap it up in a really pretty little package, tits included. And the masses are just like, oh, the poor little victim. There is no social justice on Clubhouse. It's all about who's got the latest drama running in their rooms, who can be the most provocative and say
getting social
the most
justice.
Outrageous things.
See, that's my point, is you have to pursue it personally.
John, I'm not done yet.
John, let her finish.
I'm not done yet. Nobody holds anybody accountable. Everybody just comes along to watch the train wreck. So, yeah, I'm firmly going to disagree with you on
Well, that's why people go to NASCAR. It's the same principle. People want to see a crash out.
Yeah, Kristen, just like that. Now, anything that Kristen says right now is gonna be gospel, y'all.
Oh wait, shoot! Let me do it again. Hold on, because right now you can validate me.
That's right. Get those titties up there, okay? Front and center, please.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm Kristen.
See, I think it's easy to roast people, and especially roast me, but I would submit that I provide a valuable service in some of the drama I bring, but I'm not the only one who stirs the pot. I'm the only one who's recording other people stir the pot, and myself occasionally. But as I told Steve Appel earlier, after you have the conversation long enough, you realize that the person you're speaking to is a hypocrite, and that also you yourself are a hypocrite. So I would just say, until you get to that point, plus you can't be a critic about art and say that's not art, because everything is art. And I would say, prove me wrong.
Yeah, you can definitely be a little shit stirrer from time to time. We all can be.
I'm innocent.
I saw those titties, Kristen. Don't even try it.
Dad, can't get away with it.
Oh my gosh.
Be unjust.
See, does anybody not see how Trump essentially stirs the pot too? And he's very effective at doing it. Because you could say, you could say the mainstream media is the message, or the simulation or the medium is the message. But the truth is, Trump is very sophisticated, and he also tricks people, intentionally. Like yesterday, he kicked somebody out of the Oval Office. He said, "Who was that in the back that said that?" He said, "Get out of the office." Like, see, that type of content is what I'm talking about. It's essentially, it's not a meditation class. And so Clown House is not an educational app. It is an entertainment app. It is performative. Everybody here essentially is playing a game, a role, an ID. And the way you brand it and craft it is your artwork. So that's, in my opinion, the truth.
No, I agree with that. I've said it a million times over that Trump is a master at manipulating the media. He's a master at centering himself in divisive topics and getting the media to push certain narratives. He's a master at marketing and PR, especially marketing and branding and his own PR, right? And we have to remember that he produced reality TV for how many years with his Apprentice and et cetera, et cetera. And so I also feel like some of the reactions to John's point